the northern edge of Borneo, surrounded by the vast jungle of Southeast Asia, lies one of the world's smallest yet most distinctive nations. This is Brunei Darussalam, the abode of peace. With a population of just over 400,000, Brunei is easy to miss on the map. But beneath its modest size lies a nation with deep cultural roots, immense natural wealth, and a political structure unlike almost any other. Islam shapes much of life in Brunei. It's the official religion and the cornerstone of national identity. This influence is visible in the grandeur of the Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque, a national landmark, and in the governance of the country itself. At the helm of this realm stands one man, His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah, a monarch of rare longevity, revered not only as ruler but also as protector.
As Brunei's economy grows, it faces a silent challenge, one that lies beneath its wealth and prosperity. A challenge not of scarcity, but of over-reliance. With oil and gas dominating its export and income, Brunei must prepare for an economic future beyond fossil fuels. As one of the richest countries in Southeast Asia, Brunei's wealth is largely built on oil and gas. These natural resources account for over 90% of its exports and government revenue. However, this overdependence makes the economy highly vulnerable to external shocks, especially sudden drops in global oil prices and demand. When oil prices fall, national income shrinks, development slows, and future planning becomes uncertain.
Many experts and economists warn that relying too much on one industry, no matter how profitable, is risky in the long run. If oil resources or prices collapse, Brunei may face budget deficit, reduced public services, and rising unemployment, especially among youth.
Overdependence on oil and gas creates an unbalanced economy. When the oil market crashes, government revenue falls sharply, affecting sectors like infrastructure, education, and healthcare. It also discourages the growth of other industries, such as agriculture, tourism, and technology. This one-sector dominance can weaken private sector development and reduce job opportunities, leading to higher youth unemployment and increased pressure on the public sector.
Brunei's young population is highly educated, but often limited to government job options. A decline in oil revenue could reduce those opportunities, leading to frustration and even brain drain. That's why economic diversification is essential to protect national stability and long-term prosperity.
To address this, the government launched Wawasan Brunei 2035, a national vision aimed at diversifying the economy and reducing reliance on hydrocarbons. Key agencies like the Ministry of Finance and Economy are driving efforts to develop non-oil sectors and ensure long-term economic stability. One important initiative is Darussalam Enterprise or DARE, which support local businesses, startups, and entrepreneurship to strengthen the private sector. Another key player is the Brunei Economic Development Board or BEDB, which promotes investment in areas such as tourism, halal manufacturing, and green energy. By focusing on diversification and innovation, Brunei is working towards a sustainable future beyond oil.
Brunei Darussalam is recognized across Asia for maintaining a high forest cover, currently estimated at approximately 72%. The country remains committed to preserving at least 55% of its land area as designated forest reserve, reflecting a strong dedication to forest conservation.
Globally, deforestation is primarily driven by human activities, with the expansion of agriculture and the growth of urban industrial sector recognized as the dominant forces. Additionally, poverty and socio-economic challenges in developing countries increasingly compel locally communities to exploit forest resources for energy and economic survival, further accelerating forest loss. The rapid and widespread loss of forests has resulted in the fragmentation of tropical forests into smaller, isolated patches. This fragmentation has multifaceted impact, the most significant being the loss of biodiversity. Brunei, for example, is a home to unique species such as proboscis monkey and the sun bear. The destruction of their forest habitat poses serious threat to their survival. According to UNESCO report, tropical deforestation in Southeast Asia has contributed to the extinction of several species due to habitat destruction. In response to these challenges, Brunei Darussalam has taken proactive approach to environmental and forest conservation. The country has set ambitious goals to increase its forest reserve coverage to at least 55%. Through its greening and forest restoration program, Brunei has planted over 185,000 trees, marking significant progress toward its environmental goal for 2035 while safeguarding vital ecosystem services. Moreover, Brunei participates in the Heart of Borneo initiative, a transboundary collaboration with Indonesia and Malaysia. This initiative promotes conservation and sustainable development to improve the welfare of communities across the island. It aims to minimize deforestation, forest degradation, and the associated loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services.
As Brunei advances in its digital transformation, new risks emerge. As internet usage continues to rise, government agencies, private enterprises, and individuals become increasingly vulnerable to threats like hacking, identity theft, cyber fraud, and the dissemination of false information.
Many individuals and small businesses in Brunei lack the necessary knowledge and skills to identify and protect themselves from common cyber threats. This lack of awareness makes them easy targets for cyber criminals. Additionally, as more personal and financial data is stored and shared online, Brunei has seen a surge in cybercrimes, including online scams, identity theft, and social media account hacking.
As Brunei becomes more digitally connected, addressing these impacts is crucial for maintaining national resilience and public confidence.
The impact of these cybersecurity issues is far-reaching. Victims may suffer financial losses, emotional distress, and damage to their reputations. Businesses may face disruptions, data loss, and loss of customer trust. Moreover, frequent cyber incidents can undermine public confidence in the country's digital infrastructure. Cybersecurity threats in Brunei have serious consequences for the economy, reputation, and national security. Financial losses from scams, ransomware, and data breaches affect both individuals and businesses, weakening economic stability.
In Brunei's fight against rising cyber threats, the Ministry of Transport and Info Communication (MTIC) takes the lead, shaping the nation's cybersecurity landscape through policies that drive digital transformation, ICT management, and resilience, with two key agencies supporting this vital mission.
Authority for Info Communications Technology Industry (AITI). This regulatory body oversees Brunei's telecommunications and ICT sectors, while also encouraging its growth in the private sector. Secondly, Cybersecurity Brunei (CSB) as the National Cybersecurity Agency. CSB works to strengthen Brunei's cyber defenses. It offers services to government agencies, businesses, and the public, such as raising awareness about cyber threats, protecting critical systems, improving incident response, assisting law enforcement through the National Digital Forensic Lab (NDFL), and promoting public education on cybersecurity risks.
Corruption is a word we hear often, but what does it really mean? And how does it affect us here in Brunei? Corruption happens when someone in power uses their position for personal gain. This can be taking bribes, giving jobs to friends, or using public money unfairly. In Brunei, most corruption happens in the government, especially in places that manage money, projects, or public services. One real case happened in early 2019, which is the Brunei's biggest public sector corruption case, the story of Haji Nabil and Ramzidah. Between 2004 and 2017, Ramzidah illegally withdrew and used funds from the High Court's trust account, which was meant to safeguard money belonging to bankrupt individuals. In total, she was found to have embezzled over 15.75 million Brunei dollar and withdrawn money from 255 different trust account checks, mostly written to herself. Her husband, Haji Nabil, was charged with money laundering for knowingly receiving and benefiting from the stolen funds. This issue gives a big impact on the society. First, loss of trust. People may stop trusting the government if they think leaders are dishonest. Second, wasted money. Public money could be spent on low-quality projects or stolen instead of being used to help citizens. Other than that, unfair chances. Hardworking people may miss out on jobs or opportunities if someone else pays a bribe to get ahead. Lastly, fewer investors. Foreign businesses might not want to invest in Brunei if they think things are unfair or corrupt.
As a government servant, I think to effectively combat corruption, Brunei should implement several reforms. First, there must be greater transparency and accountability in the government corporation. This includes clear rules for public procurement and regular audits that are accessible to the public. Other than that, the Anti-Corruption Bureau should be made more independent and better equipped with resources to investigate and prosecute corruption cases, including those involving high-ranking officials. And lastly, public awareness and education are also crucial. Teaching citizens, especially the youth, about the dangers of corruption and the importance of ethics can contribute to a more honest society.